Steel screamed in the dark. Not an explosion. Not yet. A deep metallic groan rolled through the hull, long and alive. Red lights flickered. Gauges quivered. A young sonar operator glanced up. They were deeper than planned. Everyone felt it. Then the new system engaged. Installed weeks earlier. Never tested this deep. Never tested under real ocean pressure. The switch was thrown anyway. A breath of silence. Then chaos. Ballast needles jumped. Trim shifted hard. The bow dipped into black water that forgives nothing. Men seized railings as the deck tilted. Blow ballast. Compressed air thundered through the tanks. No response. Or worse, wrong response. Slow, muffled, as if the sea had taken the controls. This was not a routine dive. It was a classified trial. And within seconds it stopped being a test. It became survival. By dawn, the Atlantic would erase it. The disaster began long before that night. It began with ambition. After the war, fleets mattered less than silence. The ocean became a chessboard of depth and shadow. Whoever mastered invisibility would dominate the future. The Navy pushed. Engineers built a new underwater system. Modified propulsion fused with advanced sonar masking. More speed, greater depth. A hull that could move unheard. On paper, it was a leap forward. In testing, it was something else. Stress readings climbed too fast. Vibrations appeared at modest depths. Data drifted from projections in ways no one liked. Memos circulated. More trials were requested. Questions were raised. Time overruled them. Rival powers were catching up. The system was cleared for a full-scale Atlantic trial. The dive profile was simple. Descend to test depth. Hold. Activate. Record. Surface. Clean. Mathematical. They passed the planned mark. No alarm. Just a quiet continuation downward. Meters slipped beyond clearance. The hull had a rated limit. Calculated steel thickness. Frame spacing measured to fractions. Safety margins layered into doctrine. The numbers said they were safe. The ocean disagreed. Pressure mounted in ways simulations never captured. Bulkheads creaked. Bolts strained against threads. A faint mist formed along a seam that should have stayed dry. Inside, conversation faded. Sonar returned warped echoes. Sound bent strangely, as if the sea itself were distorting. Control surfaces lagged. Half a second, then more. Nothing catastrophic, just errors stacking. Each extra foot of depth narrowed the margin. Then came the vibration, not engine, not shaft. Something deeper, an uneven shudder pulsing through the frame. The experimental system was still running. Readouts spiked. Power surged beyond projected limits. Cooling valves fought to keep up. A relay snapped somewhere aft. The captain ordered ballast correction. Air blasted again. The bow did not rise. The trim wheel spun uselessly. Second attempt. Slower. The submarine yawed sideways instead. Metal flexed like distant thunder. Alarms flickered, then dulled under mounting strain. Voices overlapped in the control room. Counter orders. Corrections. No certainty which system still obeyed. Shut it down. Shutting it down meant losing the data. They were close. 2 more minutes. At that depth, 2 minutes was everything. They were no longer testing the system. The system was testing them. The realization came from a number. Depth. Still descending. Ballast had been blown twice. Gauges confirmed it. The needle kept falling. Something was dragging them down. A petty officer murmured the oxygen remaining at current draw. No one answered. No one needed to. Training held their hands steady. Backup circuits engaged. Manual overrides attempted. The experimental unit would not disengage. Then a report from aft. A ballast vent had jammed half open during the surge. Seawater poured into one compartment faster than pumps could clear it. More weight. More pressure. Electrical panels sparked as moisture crept through conduits. Lights dimmed, returned, dimmed again. The order came. Seal the compartment. Men inside had seconds. The hatch slammed shut. Breathing echoed inside the hull, slow, measured, then a sound every submariner knows. A sharp crack, steel giving way, then nothing. The sea was calm the next morning. Search ships found oil first, then debris drifting upward, twisted plating, broken piping. No intact hull, no survivors. Recovery teams worked without words. They retrieved warped steel, scorched wiring, a ballast component fused in a position it was never meant to hold. Days later, a statement was released. Routine training accident, sudden structural failure, tragic peacetime loss. Families received folded flags, careful language, equipment malfunction, unforeseen conditions. Behind closed doors, the wording changed. Experimental propulsion instability, cascading faults, depth tolerance exceeded during active trial. Engineers assembled photographs, charts, final instrument readings. Then parts of the report were sealed. Some pages vanished entirely. The final document read clean, too clean. System instability became unexpected response. Design limitation became crew miscalculation. One phrase repeated, operator error. Earlier drafts told another story. The experimental system amplified stress loads at extreme depth. It created feedback loops no ballast procedure could counter. At certain pressures, instability was not possible. It was inevitable. That conclusion never reached the public file. Lawyers revised the language. Admirals approved it. The Cold War was tightening. Failure was not a message to broadcast. Engineers who objected were reassigned. Promotions slowed. Projects shifted. No single name carried the blame. No single name was cleared. Responsibility dissolved. In a classified archive, the original findings remained buried, alongside the wreck. Within a year, procedures changed, quietly. New submarines operated under stricter trial depths. Safety margins widened beyond published manuals. Experimental systems were tested far from patrol lanes, far from observers. No announcement explained why. No press conference mentioned the lost boat beneath the Atlantic. Design committees adjusted calculations. Redundant ballast controls became mandatory. Automatic shutdown triggers were added where none had existed. Lessons were absorbed, never spoken. Sailors who followed obeyed updated numbers without knowing their origin. They trusted doctrine. Doctrine trusted a memory it refused to name. The Atlantic kept the rest. But every submarine that dives today still follows rules written in that darkness.